This is Travis with Invictus Gymnastics, and we're going to discuss the kipping half toes to bar, why we do it, and where to go from there. The kipping half toes to bar is to help your body learn how to create momentum through straight leg position. This is important because kipping movements in general are using lower body momentum to alleviate upper body effort. If we are inefficient with this movement, then we end up using more effort, and as is the nature of CrossFit, you're already tired from something. We want to try to make your gymnastics movements as easy as absolutely possible. So creating momentum through the lower body for the toes to bar is what the kipping half toes to bar movement is for. It's also to train you to use straight leg position. Kipping toes to bar do not have to be straight leg position. But when you train the straight leg position, you're strengthening more muscles in the legs, hip flexors, and abs than you would when you are bending and then kicking the bar. So during training, during the Invictus Gymnastics programming, you're going to try to keep your legs as absolutely straight as possible, because once you are out of energy in a workout and you're trying to do straight leg toes to bar and it starts burning out, then you need to switch into other modes using more lats and hip flexors and so forth. Now, the kipping half toes to bar is essentially just swinging our legs to hip height. What we want to try to do is to keep a straight line from our hands to our hips. That avoids using the lat and the pec to press down on the bar, which is taking away from the amount of hinge necessary to make this movement happen. A prerequisite for this movement would be to be able to sit on your bottom upright. If you do not have the flexibility for this, then chances are that your kipping half toes to bar are going to have bent legs. We want to keep the legs straight, again, to create more momentum into the movement. So if hamstring flexibility is an issue for you, practice stretching the way that you would be doing this movement by lengthening the hamstrings, reaching forward for your toes, trying to flatten your back, and creating more of an anterior tilt in the pelvis to lengthen out the hamstrings. This may take time, but as you stretch, you will become more flexible. That's a great thing about your body. I'm going to start the kipping half toes to bar, but I also want you to consider this a kipping half toes to bar and beyond. So a kipping half toes to bar being as high as my hips, what I want you to learn is to swing your legs up to that height over and over and still be able to maintain rhythm. The rhythm is really important with a lot of the bar movements. If you can get past 3 reps, your rhythm's probably pretty good. On the other hand, if your rhythm starts off, 3 reps is probably the maximum you're going to get. So we want to make sure that we are maintaining that rhythm with the half toes to bar, and as we continue to hold this rhythm good, we're going to try to get the legs to lift a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. Once you find that your rhythm gets a little off, that is when it's time to acknowledge the height that your feet were at, where you could still maintain rhythm, and know that truthfully that's a measurable height to what your toes to bar would look like if you were doing them with straight legs. As you progress through this, hopefully you video yourself from the side, you will be able to see the height and the angle in your hips to know if you are making improvements. It's a great thing to know and a good way to keep your confidence high, knowing that the hard work that you're putting into the program is actually paying off, showing up in your movement. So here's the half toes to bar. And beyond. As you see, I progressively try to work my feet up a little bit higher as I go along, and once I find that place where I can no longer maintain a straight line here with getting my feet any higher, I know that that will be the extent of my toes to bar. Down the road, you, with your flexibility, because you're going to continue working on your hamstring flexibility, will be able to complete full sets of toes to bar with a straight line from your hands to your hips folding only in your hips, getting your toes to touch the bar. Keep working on it. You guys will get it.